Hey,
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 hey, everybody. Welcome back to God in Therapy with Jason.
and Tara.
Bye. Good to see y'all. Come on in. We see Latanya's
Hello,
already in the
hello.
chat. And hey, Richard. Hey, y'all. You know, these the star students. They come in early. They get the desk prepared. They lay out the paper. You know, as teachers, we just had to come in. You had those people that just
I
already there.
mean, 6:31. Somebody got here early,
6:31.
early.
That's called dedication. Dedication, Latonya.
I love it.
Good to see
Love it,
y'all.
love it,
Come
love it.
on in on this. It's Tuesday, right?
Tuesday.
It's
We always do
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It's a
The
little off,
last day
y'all.
of March.
The last
The
day
last day of March
of
already.
the first quarter of the
Yeah.
year. Do
Yeah.
y'all understand that the first quarter of the year is already
Ready.
gone?
Yeah.
If you ain't do nothing with your life, you already missed a quarter. You ain't got but 3 left in 2026. I know it's taking some of y'all hard to get started, but it take you a while. But we have been through the first quarter.
Mhm.
Hey, Angel Voices, 9026. Good to see you. Janera is in the chat. We are so glad to be here. April 1 is tomorrow.
April 1. April 1.
No April Fool's jokes. Y'all too grown for that. Let that go. Let that go. Don't be the fool.
You know, me and my brother every year we always see what April Fool's joke we can pull on each other. So we've had some
Y'all
good.
still at it?
Yeah, we still at it. We still at it. So I got to think about what I'm gonna call him with tomorrow.
You stop telling them I'm pregnant. That's old.
Oh yeah, that's old.
That's
Yeah,
old.
I can't do no more pregnancy jokes.
We beyond that at this point. I'm not putting out any sonogram. Nothing of that.
Yeah, I think the best one I told him we was moving from Florida to California.
Oh,
and
you didn't say that.
He got all excited. He was like,
that's not even funny. That's cruel.
I'm like, yeah, we're moving to Cali.
That's mean.
And he was all happy, and I was like, yeah, no.
He should have known I wasn't coming out there. No problem with those who live in California. What a beautiful state. Nice place. Just no, I'm not moving that far.
Cali is not our speed.
All right. So good to see you, Tree. Everybody come on in tonight. We have a good conversation. As y'all know, Jason Boddie was not here last week. He was not here last week.
I was not.
And I'm going to let Jason Boddie tell his story because tonight's title is In Sickness and in Health. And so because of Jay's testimony and some other conversations I've been having recently with couples, just simply about being there, supporting your spouse through the difficult times. You all, I know the season is about, right, dealing with our traumas, the things that we have and the things we weren't taught. But Jay, a lot of people have not really been taught how to show up in other people's lives in service.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest time that this shows up, that people have not been taught how to show up for other people and how to be serving towards their spouses when sickness issues come up. And so I'm going to tell the people your testimony if you want to, as little bit as you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you follow me on social media, you probably already heard the story. But it was a week and a half ago.
Right after spring break.
Right after spring break. Actually, it was during spring break. Well, we had gotten back from DC. And that Thursday, I was like, my stomach hurt. I was like, my stomach hurt. And Tara was like, what did you eat? And I was like, I don't know. And I'm like, I don't know. It'll pass. So Thursday dealt with this just pain in my stomach, in the lower part of my stomach. And then Friday, woke up, really didn't have the pain. But then mid-morning Friday, something happened.
Right.
And I had a sharp pain to the point where, and none of this story, I'll get graphic with it, but I had a sharp pain to the point it just brought me to my knees. And I was like, something is wrong. And so I came downstairs and Tara was on a call outside on the patio. And I was like, hospital now.
Right.
Emergency room now. And Tara hopped up. She was like, okay. And I put on my shoes. And we got in Mrs. Boddie's car. And Tara will tell you, I normally don't like for her to speed, but I gave her a pass. He was
happy that I know how to drive like an Indy 500 NASCAR driver. He was happy about it on that day, not the other days where I got tickets. But on that day, he was like, go and do what you do.
So I gave her a pass and she sped. She got me to that hospital. But y'all, it was the amount of excruciating pain I was in. Honestly, I don't even remember her driving me to the hospital in detail. I just remember we left the house and we got to the hospital. Got inside the emergency room. They got me on a bed or whatever, asking me all these questions, which I don't know why y'all ask people questions when they're in pain.
Hey.
But Lord be with them. But yeah, so gave me some morphine, knocked the pain out. And took me in for a CT scan. And so I had a 8 mm kidney stone in my left kidney that had pretty much gotten lodged in my ureter, which is your urinary tract. And yeah, it wasn't going nowhere. And so if you've ever had kidney stones, you can't really describe the pain. I've had a lot of women who've had children and kidney stones, including your mom, that said they will give birth naturally,
right?
Versus having the pain of a kidney stone.
Yeah, my mom had both, and so she said it was worse than the childbirth. So, you know, and the thing about it, you know, for me, I've never seen Jay in pain. Jay has never been in the hospital. We have been married. We've been together a total of 27 years, married 20 years. We've never been in the hospital for Jay. Now, I've been in the hospital with babies and different things, but Jay has never been in the hospital. So it was a little strange for me because I'm like, and it was so crazy because he's wearing this Superman shirt that day. He wearing a Superman shirt. It's on his chest. And I'm looking like, I was, you know, I'm a person that when big things happen, I'm not overly emotional. Yeah. I'm just a lady that just kind of, I'm quiet. If anything, I get real quiet. As much as I talk, when things happen serious, I'm a quiet kind of solution focused person. Like, what's needed? Let's get things done. But I was quiet and I'm looking like my Superman is hurt because Jay's never hurt. Jay's never in pain. Jay is not the type to really like be looking for help and things. So I was like, okay, you got to buck up, help him. You know, I'm helping him get out the car. I'm going in the hospital and I'm getting the wheelchair. I'm just doing all the regular stuff. Like, this is what people do. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but I've never been in a situation to really have to support Jay being sick. Like, you know, he have a cold and baby, give me some medicine or send me, you know, give me some tea.
Right.
But nothing to that severity. And so I was dealing with my own personal thoughts because he was in the hospital, 2 nights, right?
Yeah, I was in the hospital. Yeah. Friday through Sunday.
And people are asking me, Tara, are you okay? And I'm like, I ain't in the hospital. Jay in the hospital. I'm okay. But I was like, you know, but I get it because they're like, aren't you upset? Aren't you worried? And I'm like, I've never been in this predicament to have to serve him in this capacity. So there was a lot of awareness coming to me, honestly, about in sickness and in health. And I was like, well, Tara, as you all are getting older, and I know having a kidney stone has nothing to do with being old, but baby is turning 50 this year. I was like, you have to be in the mindset as a wife that if something happens to your husband, you would have to serve him. You would have to like and I was doing right, y'all. I brought him flowers. I was like, what do you do for people in the hospital? I brought him flowers. I brought him his favorite Clark Atlanta blanket. I brought him food if I could, you know. I brought him the foot massager because I got me a nice foot massager he bought from Christmas. I said, I guess he would want that. He's sitting in the bed all day. So the nurse looking like, what in the world is that? His foot in it. He's sitting there. And I said, I just brought him stuff to make him comfortable.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would stay there with them and do things. But I was like, this is love. This is care. This is the other side of marriage that people really don't understand. If you're going to be married to somebody for 20, 30, 40 years, you're going to get to some other phases and you're going to have to show up different.
Yeah. And even you don't even have to wait that long sometimes. People have that tested a lot of times early in the marriage. You know, year 1 through 5, you can have an episode of whatever, and you have to live out that vow. And that's one thing that, you know, while I was sitting in the hospital, because like Tara said, I've never been in the hospital before. It was an experience. And so I was kind of, you know, just paying attention, but it made me really think about those who haven't cultivated that relationship.
Right.
Within their marriage. You were, and you know, hats off, kudos to you. You were very calm. You didn't freak out. You weren't upset. Yeah, you never seen me in pain before. I have a high threshold for pain. So if I say I'm hurting, I must really be hurting. But you remained calm. You prayed over me. And I didn't have to ask for anything. You took care of me as my wife, and I really appreciate that. And it just made me even more appreciative that God has put you in my life.
Mm.
Because as we go through things throughout life happens.
Right.
And if you're not serving your spouse, if you're not with a spouse that will serve you, then y'all need to have a conversation.
Right.
This isn't something that we just sat down one day and said, okay, hey, I mean, we're silly sometimes saying, hey, if something happens, what would you do?
Right.
But you never think about, hey, you have an emergency, you're in the hospital. How are you going to react?
Right.
How are you going to take care of that other person? What is going to go through your mind? What is going to go through your head? And so it was truly eye-opening for me. And I was just very, very happy and pleased and thankful that I do have a wife. I have a spouse that's truly living out the vows, through sickness and health. And it's just,
it's crazy because it's like automatically I'm girl, this ain't nobody's job. Because it's crazy because
you didn't let me call your mama.
It's nobody to call, it's me because although his parents, I think we told you all, we just moved his parents down a month ago. That's crazy. They just moved down a month ago. So everybody's like, you didn't call me, you calling me. I'm like, I'm the wife. Like, I don't know what y'all gonna do. I drove my man up here. I'm talking to the doctors. Right. It's not that I was keeping them out. It's just that they really didn't even have the capacity truly to do anything,
Oh no, look, and I'm gonna hit some more of this about mom and dad later on in the show, but to have my parents come visit me in the house, y'all look, serious. Look, check this out. My dad's 88 years old. 88. Mm-hmm. Now, God, I am so thankful for my parents. My dad still walks. He don't have no cane. He don't have. Daddy still gets around. Daddy's very mobile.
Yeah.
He's 88 years old. My mom's 77. And they get around great. And we're here helping them through this stage of dementia and things like that. However, to see my dad come in that hospital room and to see his son in the hospital bed and just the look of concern on his face.
Yeah, that's new for him. He's never seen that.
Absolutely. And so it was a touching moment, but I could tell from a father's heart, from a parent's heart, you don't want to see your child laid up in the hospital.
Yeah.
And so it was one of those things, if dad could do something, like he would. He was like, what do you need? What can I do? And I'm like, Pops. I'm like,
88, nothing.
You're 88 years old. I'm like,
and it's like everybody, and I could just see everybody, his aunts came, mom came, and they were just like, Tara, you're a really good wife. And in my brain, I'm like, who else would do this? Like, this is my job. But that's just not the case, Jay, for everybody.
Yeah,
let's keep it 100. There have been people who have left their spouse during a terminal illness. I have had to counsel people who got a divorce when somebody had cancer.
Yeah.
There are people, Jay, that I'm counseling who want to divorce their spouse and they have a sick spouse right now, a sick spouse. Mm-hmm. And they'll say, well, they mistreated me, or there was an issue later in the past, and they really want to get out of it. Mm-hmm. It's like the marriage was about fun. The marriage was about the good times. The marriage is about them being fine or attractive or sexy. Now that my spouse is no longer healthy, I can't have sex with them. They don't look the same. They want to leave, Jay. They're like, I didn't sign up for what they're going through. Yeah. And it's not even just physical, Jay. There are people that are going through mental health crisis.
Yeah.
And they have spouses that are like, I don't want to deal with their mental health crisis.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with she's going through menopause and she's not okay mentally. She's not okay hormonally. I don't want to deal with my husband's illness. I don't want to deal with his mental health crisis. Oh, we just figured out he's bipolar or he's schizophrenic. And they are trying to drop these folks off somewhere.
Yeah. And one thing as you were talking, I was thinking about a lot of times as well, because when the Bible talks about your temple and taking care of your temple, a lot of things that people do are self-inflicted.
True.
And you have to think about, especially when you get married, you're affecting somebody else.
So that's a whole nother one because we got two different groups. We got the groups that get sick and it's not to their
and it's not to their doing.
But to what you're saying, there are some people that right now they're doing things to their health. They're not taking care of themselves. Their spouse can't say nothing to them, but the spouse is going to be the nurse.
Exactly.
Like when they're saying, stop smoking.
Right.
You eating the wrong foods. Stop that addiction you have. And the spouse is saying, you can't say nothing to me.
Right. Right.
But who is going to be your nurse?
When something happens,
it affects them. It affects the whole household. It affects that spouse now having to take care of you, how to take time off. The spouse now, is affecting y'all's bills because hospital bills right now are sky high, medications. So if you are even married right now and you're saying, can't nobody tell me about my drinking, can't nobody tell me about my smoking, nobody can tell me about my eating habits, but you're married. And I think some of them, that is where some of that is coming from, Jay, is some of these spouses are mad.
Yeah, they mad.
You didn't listen to me.
Exactly.
And now I have to be affected.
I got to deal with it. Yeah, absolutely. And it's when it was one couple I was talking to, and same thing, eating and taking care of your body is so critical. And she was saying, hey, I was telling my husband to, eat healthy, stop eating fast food every day, stop, drinking sodas and all this other stuff. He didn't listen. So when something happened, to your point, and I didn't even think about the financial piece of it, about the hospital bills and the medications and things like that, all of that affects your household and your marriage.
Right.
And so when you are getting better and you've paid the bills and things like that, and then you go back to those same old habits, the spouse is like, we're not doing this. We're not gonna do this again.
Oh yeah. There are people, and I know some folks where the spouse did go in for surgery. They came back out and did the same thing. Like they were drinking these Coca-Colas every day, 6-packs. Guy had a major kidney surgery. They came back and was still drinking the Cokes.
Yeah.
And the spouse was like, are you kidding me? And y'all, it's like, now they just upping the insurance now. Now they just taking out policies because they're like, if you going to put yourself out of here, you don't care that it's going to financially bankrupt me. You don't care that I'm going to have to be your little nurse, take it to all the doctor's visit. And that's men and women. Y'all, that's selfish. It's selfish. And we got to talk about this because your body is not yours.
Right.
The word of God even says that the husband's body belongs to the wife. The wife's body belongs to the husband. So when you tell me I can't say nothing about the body that you are over there just doing whatever with and doing all these unhealthy things, and then I'm going to be the nurse later. Y'all are not thinking. Yes, they can hold you accountable. Yes, they can say something to you because they're the one that everybody's going to expect. When I say everybody did expect me, like, Tara, you up there, you spending the night. Well, no, we 7 minutes from the hospital. I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to be here in the morning and I'm going to be here late till they put me out. And people are not thinking about that. Miss Movie Lover said, that was me. I was living. Honey, tell the truth, tell the testimony. Because I'm sure you warned them. I'm sure you told them stuff, but they didn't listen. Now you got to show up, and I guess you're supposed to show up with a smile. You're supposed to show up happy. What you got an attitude for? Because I told this joker not to do this. Y'all, that's some real feelings, and it could be a trauma for the spouse. I'm traumatized that I'm about to lose you. I'm traumatized that now you're in a situation where you're going to die early and leave me with these kids, or you just about to leave me with a bunch of debt. Y'all, that's a trauma to your spouse when you leave up out of here early over things that could have been avoided.
Yeah. And a lot of times too, when you think about that trauma, what does it do to you mentally?
Come on.
Especially when you've had someone who's had a traumatic experience where they got tubes and everything else, in and out of them, and they're on heart monitors and all this other stuff. That messes with you from a mental state.
It does.
Because you're seeing the person that you love, you're seeing the person that you married to say, hey, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with you. But your life is potentially being cut short because of whatever the traumatic event is. You get out the hospital and you still don't want to do right.
Right.
And so I think, and I'm not even thinking about kids, what it does to them mentally, but it's just,
it does do things. And even with your situation, even though it wasn't like high level serious, the girls have never seen you in the hospital. So I was like, they're like looking like, huh? And I'm like, you're all right. And I honestly, I was sitting here like, now what he do? He ain't drinking that water. He do like, I kept these thoughts to myself.
Yeah.
But I was like, and I told Jay, hey, you're going to have to make sure you're good, because I could see how this little bitty situation affected me in my mind. Like, because we have plans. We have things that we are planning for our elder years. And I was like, sir, that would jack up my plans. And what, I foresee us doing. What's the point if you're not going to be healthy and you're not going to be able to do things? So I had to think about that. And Jay came back right, y'all. He didn't got like 9 cases of water. He put in the garage. He's like, I'm going to drink the right things. He came back on it, because I said, it was a really quiet conversation I had when I was saying, hey, you're going to have to be okay, because when you're not okay, it affects me. I saw that. Like, I didn't get all riled up, but I could tell within me there was a moment of, all right, like this is real. He is you and you are him. We are one. Richard Houston Jr. said, this is so good. Listen, I know people personally that didn't show up for someone that had cancer. The spouse never support the other spouse that was sick. Wow. Ty, we have to pick right. Richard, I got a bunch of them that come to counseling, and I got people literally coming into counseling because their son or daughter had cancer and their spouse left them, and the mama mad. She's like, I don't even think I could forgive my daughter's husband, how he left my daughter while she had cancer and then married somebody else. And y'all, there's some real traumas that are happening in families over sickness. Yeah. And yes, sir, you got to choose right. Like, I don't think y'all listening to us when I'm talking about choosing the right people, godly people, Holy Ghost filled people. Because when you choose these shallow, silly people, you're marrying these shallow, silly people that ain't got no integrity. When you get sick and go through something in life, they're going to drop you off and not care about it. They're going to leave you because it's nothing in them that making them sacrifice for you. You got to start picking up on something when you dating people. Like, would this person really go through some hard times with me? If I see they're selfish right now and nothing major has even happened, what's going to happen if I ever get sick? Because people are leaving their spouses with terminal illnesses and they're feeling no guilt about it. They're leaving their spouses through mental health crisis. I've had somebody sit with me in counseling and say, I said, well, your wife might be kind of going through a mental health crisis. And he said, I don't want to deal with that. If that's what's going on, I don't want to deal with it. Wow. And I said, what does that even mean, what you're saying? You don't want to deal with? That's not something I feel like carrying. If she got to deal with that, she going to have to get somebody some help.
Can you be more selfish?
I was, and I told the wife, because I don't play. Like, ma'am, if you was thinking about leaving, let me give you a reason. Because if y'all can't be with people that will hold you down through the hard times in life, why are you marrying people? It is for the hard times in life. You cannot marry for shallow, selfish reasons. Right. Because life gonna be lifing, and hard times gonna be coming, and you need somebody that's gonna stand 10 toes down with you and say, I love you through the good times, I love you through the bad times, I love you in sickness, and I love you in health. If you can't do nothing for me, I still love you. If you are not able to serve me, if you're not able to make money anymore, I still love you. Because some of y'all need to check yourself, that if he or she can no longer financially contribute to the house, are you staying with them? Like, some of y'all married folk or the people you dating, ask yourself, if they could not financially contribute to our household, would I stay with them? If you can't say in your heart, yes, and you would be the one financially taking care of the household, there is no love there. There is no love there. That means you are right now married to somebody you are only using for their financial benefit. And I promise you that marriage is going to be tested at a point, because God knows the heart. He knows what's going on. Yeah. So Deborah said, no, let me see. Tree said something first. She said, how do I get my partner to get checked out for bipolar or schizophrenia without offending or worrying him? Tree, that's a difficult thing, but they have to. If you're seeing the signs, you have to let this, these are not yelling, arguing conversation. It's a conversation of, baby, I think there's something going on, and I want you to be well. I want you to be healthy, and they have things out there to help. I want to go with you to these appointments. I was reading something, babe, and especially if it runs in their bloodline tree. If there are people in your bloodline that have schizophrenia, bipolar, any type of mental health disorders, there is a great chance that you can be affected by it. And you have to let him know, you are affecting me. You are affecting me. And I know you don't want to do that. I know you don't want me in here scared or a little upset and all of that. Let's do what we need to do to get this thing balanced, sweetheart, because I'm here with you. I'm here for you. You're not trying to get rid of them, but you cannot be sitting in a situation, because y'all, some of these crises, especially mental health ones, can really tear you apart. And so if you got a spouse who's not willing to deal with it, not willing to get checked out, or they've been diagnosed and they won't take their medication, it could put you into a life-threatening situation. You could be harmed. And so we got to tell people, for my own protection, I may have to remove myself. I don't want to, but you have to get this handled. Yeah. You have to get it. Let's roll up a little bit. I don't want to miss anything. Let me see. Deborah says, that's so real. You have to consider that your choices are going to affect your spouse and family. It's not just about you. Deborah, I don't think people truly understand what happens to you happens to your family. It happens to your family. Mrs. Movie Lover said, this is not why they get married, and don't ask the deep questions and don't know where to start. Yeah, that is not why they get married now. Yeah. People are getting married. Like, if you get married for money, I'm sorry, a physical illness can come and wipe all that out. You can't work anymore. There's no money. Y'all, you can't date and marry for the superficial, because when the real stuff come through and that stuff is no longer on the table, do you love them? Right. Do you love them? Hey, Ronald, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Hey, and thank God for your wife. She's a rider. I'm telling you, you better get a rider on your side. It is for, yes, Miss Movie Lover, richer for poor and sickness and health. The vows are telling those that are getting married that this is what you're agreeing to. Yep. Vowing to love through. That make up they're making up their own vows, and they don't want to, they're not even putting that in there. Yeah. Let me tell you, they saying all this cute poetic stuff, Jay. I love you like the sun and the moon, and you my shining, the way we be vibing. Baby, ain't no vibes when people sick. Right, people just need you to come and help them. Y'all, is it because they're just trying to not lie? That's why they say I don't know. But I look at I'm going to use my parents once again. Parents been married for 50 years. 50. Just 50 this month. 50 years. 50. And with that, my parents, I've seen them from childhood go through various illness, surgeries, accidents, things that happen. But they stood by each other. They took care of each other no matter what. And even though some of the stuff that my mom was going through, I remember when my grandfather was sick when I was a kid, and something would happen with dad, or if my grandmother was sick, something would happen, but they still stuck by each other. Yeah. They still cared for each other. And like I said, now here they are, 50 years later, mom is still by my dad. I called her this morning and she was like, yep, your dad's getting up. I'm getting him his medicine. Oh yeah, I'm making him a cup of coffee. Yeah. And I was like, she got him. Yeah. Like your mom really does have your dad. Like I watched that, how she just takes him to the appointments. Like she really does. Let me get his shoes. Like she packs his clothes for trips and everything. She's been doing that for years, but she really takes care. And that's a beautiful thing to see. And I'm glad that God has given me these examples around watching women take care of men, because I didn't see that in my family particularly, but I saw that. I see that with your mom. And it's like, y'all, it's second nature in me. I love him. Like, that's my job. Like, even when we went to the hospital the morning of your surgery, I came early and I prayed over Jay, and then I got in the bed with him. I'm like, scoot over. I need to sit next to you, and you need to feel me, because he's about to have a surgery, and I wanted to make sure that he wasn't feeling anxious or anything. So I just sat with him, and I laid next to him, and I wrapped my arms around him, and we just sat there until they called him in for surgery. We just laid there, because I'm like, he needs to feel stable and confident. I know he's the man. I know he's usually my covering and the one that protects me. But I was like, I need to protect his mental this morning. I need to make sure he's okay. But that's what we have to do is when you love somebody. And I think for me, I was like, you absolutely love Jay, because if he got sick, I know I'm going to work. I know I'm going to pay the bills. It's not even a second thought. I'm like, if he can't work, that's me. I'm going to pay all the bills. I'm going to make sure everything's done. And I'm going to take care of my man. It's just, I knew that in that moment, like, nah, you got this. You would do this. And that's love, y'all. I see Bug 7186 said, I stayed and I'm still staying. He was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease about 4 years ago and not able to work. I'm here for the long haul. God bless you.
Yeah.
God bless you. That's what we are here for. We don't know what will happen. We don't know the things in life. But if you have not considered, and this is why, I'm sorry, I tell everybody shouldn't be married. I know y'all can say what y'all want to say. Everybody shouldn't. Yeah. Everybody couldn't. Because if you are self-centered and a selfish-natured person, please do not get married.
Nope.
Marriage is for people that know how to serve other people. If you have a selfish mentality, I don't feel like showing up for people. I don't feel like working. I don't feel like, don't get married, because your selfishness going to be tested. God going to make sure of it. You marrying somebody because they fine and they all healthy, honey, he'll let you see them not be fine and not be healthy and see where your heart posture is. And when you say, I'm ready to go, honey, that lets you know you are there just for that.
Right.
You're selfish. Everybody shouldn't be married. Absolutely not. Let me see what you say. Southern Jukebox says, Tara, I don't think people understand what covenant is. It is not a sheet of paper. God takes covenant marriage seriously. Yes, he does, Richard. It's a lot of people who don't understand that God gonna ask them about how they left their spouse, especially during a terminal illness or during a sickness in their life. And y'all, sometimes God's gonna let that marriage be tested and you're gonna see who you really married
to. Yeah.
God will restore your health, but he may want you just to see you with a selfish woman or a selfish man.
Yeah, I will say, I'll put it like this. If you would not have showed up, if you would have dropped me off at that emergency room on Friday and really? and called me later on and say, hey, what did the doctor say? How you doing? And then I got to go through surgery. And I'm like, Tara, I got to go through surgery. Okay, well, call me when you get out of surgery.
What you have done?
And then I'm calling you. I'm like, hey, they released me on Sunday. Can you come pick me up? Can you order Uber? I'll order you an Uber to bring you home. Boy,
I feel bad just not spending the night.
Boy, that conversation would be ugly.
I feel bad not spending the night, but the couch was real small, y'all, and the way it was set up in there, I was like, I need to come back fresh for you, baby, in the morning.
And I wouldn't expect you. You know me. I wouldn't expect.
Well, you didn't spend the night when I was never. I told him that ain't the culture.
I don't.
Yeah,
you know, I got isms with spending
all
the night.
3 babies, and he was at the house.
I had to make sure everything was great when you got home.
Yeah, I knew you didn't mind me going home and getting a good night's sleep because I was
crib had to be.
Yeah,
I had to make sure.
I do understand. I was in them hospitals at night by myself.
But see, everybody told me, Jason, get the last little sleep you can, because once that baby come home, you're not gonna get no sleep.
Oh, that's why you went home.
And when the baby came home, what happened? I let you sleep, and I took care of the baby in the middle of the night. Amen. All right, moving on to the next one.
Moving on to the next one. So, and Mrs. Movie Lover said it, especially marriage is a ministry, and how you steward it. Okay. You will have an account to God, no excuses. So I want to bring up the scripture tonight, because you're so right. Let's talk about the scripture for tonight. We always have a scripture we're going to give up. Ecclesiastes 4:9-10. It says, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. All right. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Yeah. It says, pity anyone who falls and don't have anyone to help them up. The blessing of a marriage, the blessing of being married, is if one of us falls, we have another one to hold us up. This is what we have over the single people, y'all. Is that we absolutely should have a guaranteed person that if I get sick, if I lose my job, If something's not going well in my life, that is not the end of me. I have picked a well capable and loving spouse who knows that they are going to fill in whatever gaps that happen in my life, especially those things that we did not expect. If you don't have a spouse that you know that if something go wrong in my life, that they're going to willingly, with a good spirit and a good heart, say, I got this, that means you got the wrong one.
Yeah.
I'm talking to the males and the females. A lot of you men, you know these women are marrying you because of your money. You know she dating you because of your money. When you get broke or you can't work anymore and that money is dried up, she gonna be gone to the next one because you choosing her shallowly. You're choosing her in a shallow way. You also choosing her because of her body and the way she looks. So if something happens to her, are you gonna turn her in? Ladies, be careful bringing men in based upon your body, because if life starts happening and he can't handle that or take that, then he's gone.
Right.
Everybody got to marry for the long haul, for every phase of life, because as we're getting older, there are phases to this thing.
Yeah. Yep.
There are and like you said, it's not even getting older. It's just things that married couples go through, and you have to make sure you got a real one.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you got a real one.
Yeah. Yeah. That is so true. And when you were saying it, I was thinking, you know, we often hear about when you get older, how your body changes.
Right.
And, you know, a couple of weeks ago, you and Carolyn, y'all were talking about, you know, menopause and the different changes of the body, and how some people or some men be like, you know, I'm out. I don't want to deal with that. But there's just so many different phases, because when you look at it from being pregnant, that's a phase. Children will change your life, change your marriage. Going through just different health, going through different jobs, things happen in marriage.
Right.
And so even though we're talking about health tonight, you have to look at the whole health of your marriage, period. What happens when that marriage, thank you, Holy Spirit, for dropping this in. What happens when that marriage goes to the emergency room?
Right.
What happens when that marriage has to have surgery? Are you gonna be the one to be like, okay, I'm gonna drop you off at the emergency room, call me and tell me what the doctor said?
Always people like that, Jay.
Or are you gonna be the one that's gonna go in there and be right next to your spouse, hear the diagnosis, and say, okay, we can work on this together, we can fix this together?
Yeah, they just want a new one. They want a new spouse. They're saying, you know, the marriage is sick. This is our sick marriage, and I want to get out of here. I want a healthier marriage with a new person. But then they bring that disease, their disease of lack of skill sets and what they didn't do. In fact, I feel like they're more infected after a divorce.
Yeah.
And they don't go to counseling, and they don't fix whatever went wrong with them in the first marriage. So they take the disease they had that ruined their first marriage. They get more infested with more disease, and then they try to go to a second marriage.
Yeah. And they get in that second marriage because they already know the symptoms. So now they're going to manipulate the marriage. They're going to manipulate it into their favor. So a lot of times they think so, but they manipulate it to their favor. And the other person's like, what's going on? And you like, yeah, my first spouse had to deal with this X, Y, and Z. I wanted to make sure I protected myself so I wouldn't have to go through that again. But in the same instance, you have now destroyed a second marriage.
Oh, yeah.
Or a third marriage, or a fourth marriage.
They end faster. The more you get married, statistically, y'all, the more marriages, the faster the divorce. More second marriages in than first marriages. So if you're in a marriage that you can work on, you might want to work on it. It's not saying that second marriages don't last, but your highest chances is in the first marriage, especially if you chose correctly. Because if you chose in your immaturity, your second marriage might outlast your first marriage if you're a little bit more mature and you got some counseling and God has given you wisdom. But what you're saying, I tell couples all the time, Jay, when I'm talking to them, I tell them, put the problem on the table. Y'all are not the problem. Y'all are the people that are going to solve the problem. You and your spouse are not the problem. Whatever phase y'all go through in life, y'all say, we are about to conquer this phase. We are going to conquer raising children. We are going to conquer job loss. We are going to conquer foreclosure, because there are other couples that are dealing with this same stuff, but this is how we are going to conquer it as a couple. You know, we are team body on everything. It's team body. So when phases and things in life show up, when we're dealing with stuff with our teenagers, you know,
no Lord,
tickets and court.
Oh,
Anyway,
Lord.
we're not gonna talk about them. But I say, baby, how we are gonna handle the baby getting the ticket? You know, do we hire an attorney? Do we go to? We don't crash out on each other.
Right.
My husband is intelligent. I'm intelligent, very highly. We both are very highly intelligent people. We like, how you want to handle this? When I started going through perimenopause symptoms, that was a conversation. Now, baby, all the people getting divorced over menopause and stuff. Me and you gonna do it differently because we love each other and we're highly intelligent. We're not about to crash out just because I'm going through a hormonal phase. So how do you want us? Let's talk about it. I need you to look at this stuff. We're gonna research. This is what I'm gonna need from you. I came to my husband and said, I feel my changes. I feel my energy shifting. I feel my emotions. They're all over the place. It's not you. I could tell it's something going on because something could not be happening and I'm having emotions. So baby, we gonna have to get through my perimenopause and menopause different than other couples because there's nothing wrong with my husband. There's nothing wrong with me. We're going through normal marital things that all people go through. And I need y'all to understand that with your spouse, come together and say, partner, how are we going to handle this? How are we going to handle this phase? How are we going to handle our parents getting older? How are we going to handle, you know, that was a conversation we had.
In premarital.
Yep. That was so many years ago. They said, can your parents live with you?
And at the time, we both were like, nope.
We both said no. Just based upon, you know, you talk about some 20-year-old
when you're in your 20s, that's what,
like,
you're not.
No,
I just got out my mama's house. I mean,
and they made us say that, but it has become real now.
Yeah, now
because we're like, okay,
if you need to come stay with us, come on.
If they need to, because we're older and we're more mature. We're not in that phase yet because both our parents can still live by themselves. But the care we have for them is different. We had to have a conversation of, hey, how much money do you want to contribute to our parents' household? Well, this is what we could contribute to. He's like, you know, I said, this is what I want to do for my mom. Okay, that's okay. That's fine. This is what I want to do for my parents. Okay, that's fine. Because they're older. But as a couple, we had to face our parents are older. There's assistance we want to give them, health-wise, financially, just support. And we came to the table and talked about it. There was nobody coming selfish saying, we don't do that. And I don't, that's just immaturity. But we know each other's heart posture. You know, we married people that we knew would not mind caring for parents, caring for us, caring for our children. And y'all, these are just phases you have to deal with.
And as you go through it, you know, one of the key things I harp on when I talk to couples, and I coach my men as well, communication. Like you just said, we sat down, we talked about it, and we looked at it from a we perspective. Not a, this your mom and daddy, you got to figure it out.
No.
You know, we looked at it as how are we going to approach this? And it's the same thing with health. When you have these health challenges, you have to look at it and say, how are we going to tackle this together? You know, you and I started the year out strong. We got to get back in the gym together. Because we started out strong.
I was in there. I was
whatever. We started out strong, and all it takes is
I'm still in the gym. I went this morning.
First time in
That's
anyway.
not true.
So we started out strong, but no, when we start fasting in January, oh goodness, put that little deflated thing down. We start fasting, got out of the gym, we're getting back in. But it's something we're doing together because we care about each other. We care about our health. We care about the consequences that if we don't do it now, later on in life, you know, we're going to have to take care of each other.
I'm not spending my time up in these hospitals. I'm supposed to be on cruise ships. And that's why, you know, what we, you know, because we had that conversation some years ago. I was like, baby, let's get in the gym. Baby, let's make sure we are tip-top shape because we got things we want to do. Our children are getting older. They're teenagers. We have daughter graduating, one graduating 2 years after that. Like, we about to be empty nesters in like 5 years or less. So I was like, we got at least 10 to 15 years. I want to be out there. I want to be, he thought I was going to say outside.
Please don't.
I want to be out there with you traveling because we've done the ministry of raising the children into their adulthood. We have freedom. So you can't be sickly. It's like we can't be sick weakly. We
Right.
can't be tired. So we got to take vitamins that we ain't never taken before. We
Right.
taking the magnesium, the calcium, the probiotics. I'm like, good grief, there's a whole pharmacy up in here. But we're making sure the vitamins are taken because it's like, I want to have energy. I want to have a healthy, thriving marriage.
Mhm.
Just because we're getting older does not mean it's not still a healthy, thriving marriage.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what, I want you all to think about that as you personally are saying how you take care of yourself. You can't sit there and eat the junk food. You can't sit there and not drink the water and say, oh, well, it's not an oh, well. Because, Jay, even for the single people, who do you have locked in to take care of you?
Right.
Like, I need some of y'all to really think about this because, Jay, there was a discussion online one time. Almost went viral. I had a post one time went viral. You remember that? When I told you, I said, you men out here gonna be single and you're gonna die alone too. I didn't say it the nicest way, but they only took a clip. I blame my producer. You just didn't put it in full context. But I told them, while y'all being picky out here, I said, some of y'all gonna die alone too. Y'all talking about the women gonna die alone with their cats. You dying alone with your dog, with Fido. And I said, what's gonna happen is, y'all send up in these nursing homes because you wouldn't get married. Y'all send these nursing homes because you wouldn't come on in here and get you a wife. Now you spending $20,000 a month in a nursing home. Some of y'all don't understand. This is a bad financial decision for you not to get married. I don't think y'all understand. It's bad financially. Y'all don't understand. Like right now, because some of you are refusing to get married, you already are not financially making good decisions because married couples have more financial power. They have the ability to save money, especially if Taylor told me I was in the shade room. Sure, well, girl, it was shady. But couples, we have a more spending. We have a bigger buying and investing power because we're sharing all the bills. So I want y'all to think about this. Couples get to share bills, right? Instead of us paying for all the household by ourselves, we get to share bills. So that means we have a lot more money to save. But then I want you to think about the back end when you're older and y'all take care of each other. Now, I also don't have to pay nurses and in-home health care if I got an able-bodied spouse.
Right.
I need y'all to understand. Because if you don't, now you're paying nurses or nursing homes. Sometimes I want y'all to just look it up. $20,000.
Oh, it's crazy. It is.
So that nice little retirement fund that you have, it's going to get ate up. If you don't die within the first 5 years, you're going to have to go and get up out of here because you ain't got but 5 years. You ain't got but 5 years.
Wait a minute.
I'm just saying. Saying, count the cost. You say my 401k got 300,000. Okay, divide that sucker up. Divide it up. 20,000 a month, baby. You ain't got a bunch of years up in there. They're going to put you out. They're going to put you out on the street. I'm telling you. What you say there? Kimberly said these men think they are the prize and they have option because there's so many women. Okay, what's up? Pick one.
It ain't so many women that's gonna take care of you. I'll say it. I'll say it.
Say it, man of God.
Yeah,
because all of them ain't taking care of you.
No, they're not.
All the women ain't willing to take care. I really hate when they say it's so many fish in the sea, sir. Some of them are trout. Some of them are not the fish you want. It's not the ones you want all the time. When y'all say it's so many women, there are not so many women that will take care of you, sir.
Right.
There are not so many women that will help you when you're sick. There are not so many women that will work with you and help you build. There are some women that will literally take from you. There are some women that will rob you of your sanity and mental health. There are some women that will literally run you in the ground. So when you say there's a bunch of fish in the sea, there are not a bunch of fish in the sea. I'm sorry. And I love when men tell me, Tara, it really ain't a lot of like top tier women. Yeah, tell the truth, sir. So when you meet a top tier woman, don't treat her so cavalier like it's 50,000 of y'all. No, it's not 50,000 top tier women that are working with you to build, that are visionaries, that are good helpmates. They're going to be able to take care of you in sickness and health. That's going to be able to raise your children so they're going to be good children. No, it is not. No, all fish in the sea ain't equal. So it's not a lot of men that are on that caliber, but men, don't get it twisted. It's not a lot of women either. So when you meet a good one and you devalue her, you cheat on her, you ghost her, you mistreat her, and you think God just gonna give you another just wonderful woman of God. He's just gonna have another one there for you. It's just not true. It's not true. And Janair says that's also how our government is set up too, that it favors marriage and partnership. It shows stability. It's right. Yeah, we get the tax breaks because y'all, let me just say it this way. Healthy marriages are supposed to bring in healthy children, and healthy children and all those things bring healthy societies.
Right.
When you have a lot of broken homes or a lot of inconsistency, it actually hurts the community. And there's no shade on single people, but single people like to get up and move. Single people they had a flexibility to be like, I'm on this job and I don't want to be here. I was at this church and I ain't here no more. Is when you have children and when you have a stable family, they have a tendency to settle in and build in a community. So yes, communities, jobs, the government, they really try to push family. And that's God's design, really, mostly is that we be in families and we build connection and community.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have all this generation of selfish people, Jay, it's a lot of people just choosing to stay single for eternity.
It's either selfish or they don't want to do the hard work.
They don't want to do the hard work. They don't want to share their money. They don't want to share their time. I met women like that. They're like, ooh, I don't know if I want to get married because I don't want to take care of no man when he's sick. What? Why do you, if you do want to get married, why? And it's for selfish reason. I can have somebody help pay bills, but he ain't gonna touch my money. He don't need to know what I make. I'm like, y'all have lost your mind. Like, they don't understand partnership and becoming one.
Right.
It's like everybody trying to find somebody they can finesse.
Mm-hmm.
Men and women. Mm-hmm. Everybody's trying to find somebody they can finesse, but not anybody that they can actually build with and partner with. They're not ready to bring their whole selves into anything.
Yeah.
They're not willing to say, I want to find a good match that we can actually partner and build with. I'm going to bring out all my stuff. I pray that I find somebody that bring all their stuff, and we're about to be partners. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, Jay, they're not ready to serve. They want to be served. And so you have a lot of people staying selfish because they're like, I don't want nobody telling me what to do my time. I don't want nobody telling me what I can do. Like, I'm a catch flights, and I don't want no man telling me. I don't want no woman telling me what to do with my money. I don't want anybody tabbing on my time.
And you know what? And that's fine. But when you get older and you want the help.
Oh yeah, because it run out.
Good luck.
They don't want you in the club, baby. You're over 40, auntie. Get out the club, Get out the club, auntie. And then if you try to marry younger, she wants your money too. You mad at the lady that's your age that want to build with you, but the young thing, if she with you, it's because of your money, sir. It's no other reason. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing is, everybody that waiting and being selfish later on be looking for the prize.
Yeah.
They be looking for, like, so you just felt like all the top tier people waited like you. So they're like, I can't find nobody. Sir, you're looking at 50. You out here at 50 looking for the prize. She been married. What are you talking about?
Well,
a lot of them been married.
Unless you're looking at Miss Kimberly Dorsey there. She said, I'm single, never been married, no children, and yes, I want to be married. I'll be 48 next month.
All right. Well, Kimberly's available. Kimberly's available.
So
Kimberly decided it's time. It's time.
Kimberly, drop what city you in, and there you go.
Kimberly, it's a man out there because
they can find it. Yeah.
Yes, you can, because you only need one.
Right.
But I'm telling y'all, don't wait.
Yeah.
I'm talking to some of y'all, especially my men on here. We got some men in here in your 30s. Don't wait. Mm-hmm. God give you a good woman of God. Go ahead and marry her. Yeah. Go ahead and build, because y'all waiting on years that you're not saving money, years that you're not investing, years that
Just call it what it is. You're wasting years out there playing.
They playing.
You're just playing. And from a male's perspective, we as men, it gets to a point where we do have to draw a line in the sand and say, okay, I'm putting away childish things, as the Bible says. I'm putting away those childish things. I'm not playing with toys no more.
Yeah.
You have to get to a point where you say, I want to, one, be better, but I also want to start to build a legacy, whatever that looks like, whether we are with your wife, with the family, what have you. you have to get to a point where it's just like, okay, I'm too old for this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did this back in my teens and my 20s, yada yada. But like you said, I'm in my mid 30s, knocking on 40. Why are you still out here playing?
They think
Why?
it's still something out there to
Why?
do, and it get old. And y'all, we're not bored. Go on, put it out there, Kimberly. Go on, put it out there. She said you got good credit. Good teeth.
Love it.
I see
love it.
I see them good teeth and that good
She
skin.
said good skin.
Y'all better go and put it out there. Yeah, shoot your shot, baby. You can do it right here on God and Therapy. Y'all put your stuff in the chat. We don't care.
Winterville, North Carolina. I've never heard of Winterville, North Carolina.
It sounds lovely.
It's right.
We want people to get married. Oh God, this is why we out here.
Yeah.
We're trying to educate you all. We're trying to help you all. Okay, Tyra J, y'all pray for me and my fiance Deborah. She's actually in the live chat Thursdays. Our last day premarital session. Y'all
Right.
Come on. Look at that.
We love it.
People on God and Therapy out here get married. And y'all, and Richard been watching forever. So he fully equipped, fiance. He fully equipped. He be in here. He has a great understanding. Y'all are on it. Richard, blessings unto you. This is a beautiful blessing. This marital partnership. Don't let nobody out here tell y'all that what they got going on out there is better, because it's a lie. God said
now,
that we should
Taylor, I'm gonna answer this question for Taylor. What about single family members who want to run the streets and come live with a married couple
Taylor,
when they get older?
Taylor. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They want to run the streets, not lay any bricks down, not build any legacy, and then they won't come find the stable people. It is crazy because they clown the married people, right? They clown the married people saying y'all boring. I don't want to be in no marriage. But then when your broke self get to a certain age and you didn't build no legacy, now you want to live with your married cousin, with your married sister, with your married brother, because they got it all together, because they got the house and they got the money right. But you was out there singly living your life, your best life. But then you want to come to the stable people in the family?
Right.
No. Find your other single friends. You was out that club and y'all gonna get y'all 2-bedroom together.
I was about to
live with us.
I was about to say that comes with a time limit.
I'm
gonna give you 30 days. You got 30 days.
Ain't nobody over the age of 20 living with me. Unless your last name is Body. And even they daddy said they got a time limit of 30.
You got a time limit.
I'm not, not coming in here.
Go
find all your single friends and y'all should go ahead and get y'all a little flat, a little place to live together, a little single little den of people. We had to bring it in the house early. Y'all don't understand. This is a sacrifice we made as married people. I got married at 23 years old. That means I submitted my authority and freedom at 23 years old, meaning I barely out my mama's house. Had 5 minutes to be out here doing what I want to do. I brought myself in up under this man at 23 years old and was like, fine, I'm submitted. I couldn't be outside. I didn't catch flights. I didn't get to hang out with my friends at the club at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning because I had a husband at home. So I gave in at 23, came up in the house. But I could tell you also what I gained. What I gained is a long-term marriage. What I gained is children at a certain age where they about to be out the house before I'm 50. What I gained is money and investments. That I'm real good. I work 3 days a week. He got it. So I went in the house early, but the investment on the other end is that I'm good. Y'all got to understand, women, because some of y'all choosing careers and saying, I don't want to submit under no man. I'm not ready to go in the house and I don't want to do that. Ma'am, that's the great exchange. You come in, you build with a man, you have the children, you help build y'all's legacy, because it's not just his legacy, it's y'all's legacy. But on the flip side, you get some taken care of by a certain time. I don't work as hard as single women. I know that for a fact. This is why I still look like I'm in my 30s, y'all. I'm 43. Because I ain't been out there hard living. I still got all my teeth too, Deborah, and all my skin, because I ain't been out here working like some women, because I have a spouse. I have a man doing a lot of stuff, because I got to say that, because some of the women out here, you're also staying single too long because you don't want to submit. God has brought you some very nice men and you call them corny, or you call them lame, you call them all or whatever. He wasn't hood enough, or he wasn't, I don't know what y'all looking for, but you want the stable man after 40, but you wanted to play out there in the streets with the other type when you young, and now y'all want the stable men after a while. Well, y'all. It's hard out here after a certain age. We just gotta tell the truth.
Yeah. So we clearly have turned this into
I know this
club God and therapy. So Janelle said, say less 28, not married, no kids. There you go. There you go. If you're watching,
we're gonna do another singles mix or something.
Right.
And we tried to help y'all with the conference. We like, come through. We just gotta get more men on there. But you know, y'all hour up before y'all start throwing these in. Y'all gonna try to hold us in. But let me see. News report 2006 says Jesus defeated death. That cloth is linen and turn a banjo life. Okay, amen. I'm trying to read it real good, but thank you. But y'all listen, listen. God is good. He loves us. He wants us married. You know, marriage depicts Jesus's relationship with the church, y'all. It depicts Jesus' relationship with the church. If you say something wrong with marriage, you saying Jesus' relationship with the church, something wrong with that. He said, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church.
Right.
And Jesus' love for us was beautiful. So when y'all let crazy, toxic people tell you something wrong with this bond, you're going directly against the word of God.
Yeah.
You're going directly against what he said. He said it's not good for man to be alone. He says when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing and receives favor from the Lord. So if you hear anybody out here, men, that tell you that finding a wife is not good and being married is not good, so who we calling God a lie?
Right.
Because God said.
Yep.
And women, it's a good thing to be married. We're not saying that you have to be married to find happiness, but don't let nobody tell you that it's a negative thing for you to be covered by a husband. It's a negative thing for you to have that protection. You got to find some happily married women who will tell you, no, when you find a right one with some character integrity, it makes your life better. You live on the less stress. You should not be highly stressed out and married. You just shouldn't be. So this is good.
Yeah, this is a good conversation tonight. Good conversation tonight.
Yeah. So again, some of y'all, before y'all find this person, you need to get some counseling. Because you can't be up in here married and destroying these folks. So we want you to come into God and Therapy Counseling, godandtherapycounseling.com. Come to the website, or y'all can always go back to taraboddie.com. But godandtherapycounseling.com. And then, of course, y'all get the curriculum, read the books.
Yep.
Marriage is a beautiful thing, but I wish I would have known, or Marriage Rooted in Love, because we really want y'all to come into these marriages so well equipped. Even when you're dating, y'all need to read the book. So even when you're talking to people, when you're dating, you know who to pick. We talk about that. I talk about in my first book about sickness and health, and how to support somebody through addictions, and how to support somebody through a healthcare crisis. If you don't know these things, your mindset is wrong rolling in here, y'all, because it could be the case that you will have to support somebody in sickness and health.
Right.
And you just got to have a certain mindset to be a spouse. So, babe, anything else we want to say before we rock?
No, it's been a good conversation. And thank you for supporting me.
Absolutely.
As my spouse, as my
day
wife.
Of your
I appreciate
life,
it.
To death do us
appreciate you just didn't leave me sitting in the hospital by myself.
Never that.
Also, if you all want to support what we do, support this channel, support our ministry, the QR codes for Zelle, Cash App are up there. And if you would like to donate to our cause, we would definitely appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Definitely appreciate it.
It's been Jason and Tara Boddie tonight for God and Therapy. Y'all take care.
Y'all have a good night.